Hello everyone, it's Dale here. Welcome to the next video from the recent trade series. In this video I'd like to talk about two trades which I took earlier today on the ES. And I think that those trades were a very good example of how important stop loss and take profit could be in your trading and how it can determine whether a trade will be a loser or a winner. So in this video I'd like to focus on showing you how to properly place stop loss and take profit using volume profile, and also I'd like to show you an order flow trick, how to confirm a trade entry, and I'm going to show you on those two trades which I took earlier today. Alright, so let's check it out. What you see before you, this is NinjaTrader 8 platform, and it is the ES chart, 30-minute time frame. Let me first tell you what the trades were based on. Alright, so this is the 30-minute time frame. That's where I do my intraday analysis, and the first trade which I took was based on this volume cluster which got formed in this downtrend. This volume cluster represents a place where sellers were active as they were pushing the price downwards. So I went short from that volume cluster, which means I waited for a pullback. And when the price hit the beginning of the volume cluster, I went short. Now, this is where I'll show you how important it is to place a stop loss properly. Alright? The way I place my stop loss is always behind a heavy volume zone, like this one, and also above a recent swing point. This was the swing point above that heavy volume zone, right? So this is where I placed the stop. Let me print a straight line here. This was the stop loss, right? This line. I'll highlight it in red. As you can see, the price went past my trade entry and almost hit the stop. But this whole zone, this is a barrier, right? This whole zone, that's a resistance or a barrier. And you always want to place the stop behind the barrier, which I did. I placed the stop in here, which is behind the barrier. And by the way, the barrier, that's the heavy volume zone, right? So the stop was behind the barrier. And because of this proper stop loss placement, I did not get stopped out and I remained in that trade. So the price returned back to the trade entry, but I still held the trade and still held the short until I reached the take profit. The take profit was just above a heavy volume zone. So let me show you. I used volume profile like this and identified a heavy volume zone, which was this one. This is heavy volume zone, which could work as a support, right? Potential support, because price likes to react to heavy volumes. Now, when you are short, you don't want to risk that the price will react to support and go upwards like it did in here. So that's why I quit the trade right here. This was my take profit. As you can see, it was also at the VWAP line. A VWAP, by the way, is a very good place for a take profit as well, right? So this is the weekly VWAP and it aligned with that heavy volume zone. So this is where I took the take profit. So take profit should always go before barrier and stop loss should always go behind barrier, right? Stop loss is behind barrier. This is the barrier. Take profit goes before barrier. This is the barrier. So this is where the take profit goes. All right. That's the main rule to remember. And that's what I do with all my trades. Always take profit before a barrier, stop loss behind a barrier. So that was the first trade, right? Now, the second trade was a long from this green line. It was this long, this reaction. It was based on this barrier actually, because I saw that this barrier actually presented a very nice place for a long trade entry. if you look into this zone, then you can see that there were aggressive buyers, and within this buying activity there was this heavy volume zone. This represents places where buyers were active, and the price likes to react to such places like it did in here. The reason why I placed the level exactly at this place is because that there was a fair value gap. And those of you who are familiar with the smart money concepts, then you probably see that the fair value gap is in here. My level was at the beginning of the fair value gap. That's a place from which I like to trade, from the beginning of the fair value gap, right? So that was the long level. My stop was in here, below this swing point and behind heavy volume barrier, right? So again, stop loss goes behind barrier, right? This was the barrier. So this was the stop loss, and take profit was before a barrier, right? Again, the same rules. If you look at the volume distribution here, let me just move the profile a bit like this. Then this heavy volume zone, this was a barrier, right? Price has very often problems going through heavy volume zones. So this is the beginning of the barrier, and that's where I took the profit. All right? And as you can see, it looks like it was a good decision because the price reacted to that barrier I was afraid of and went downwards, right? So taking the take profit right here was, I think, a very good decision. So this is how you place the stop loss and take profit. And as you can see, both those trades would actually be ruined if I messed this up, right? Now, I promised that I would also talk about order flow and order flow trade confirmation. So what I want to show you is the beautiful confirmation on the order flow at this place. So what happened here was that the price was dropping towards this support, and what I want to show you is what happened on the order flow when the price hit that support. All right, so let me open up the order flow chart and show you specifically this zone. So what you see before you, this is a 5-minute order flow chart. It is a bid-ask chart. And in here, you can see how the price was dropping towards the support. This was the support. And when the price hit the support, and let me zoom this in some more. When the price hit this support, massive volumes started to appear both on bid and on ask. You know what? Let me zoom this in even more so you can see it better. This was the support. The price went towards the support, and then around the support zone, those massive volumes started to show up. There were massive volumes both on bid, that's this side of the footprint, and ask, that's this side of the footprint. And if you look at the other volumes which are traded, for example here or here, then you can see that the volumes in here really stand out, that they are unusually huge volumes, right? So this is telling you that institutional traders were active here, right? And they started to enter their long positions. I call this specific scenario or setup the absorption setup, because buyers are absorbing selling pressure, right? This is the selling pressure, which shows on bid, and the selling pressure, that's the heavy volumes, right? Heavy volumes by sellers, but the price doesn't move. Instead, what happens is buyers start to jump in with massive volumes on ask, that's buyers, and the price doesn't move. It stops. And massive volumes are both on bid and ask. This is the absorption. Buyers are absorbing the selling pressure, right? That means sellers are selling, they are selling massively, but the price doesn't move because buyers buy everything the sellers have to sell, right? That's why the price doesn't move. And that's the confirmation, right? That's the confirmation you want to see around your strong support or resistance level. That's the confirmation to enter your trade. In this case, it was a long, all right? So I think this is a beautiful example of the absorption setup because the heavy volumes really stand out here. If you look at the other volumes in this session, in the Asian session, where this trade played out, then you can see that this is really a place that absolutely stands out, like volume wise, because you don't really see that heavy volumes really nowhere, right? Only in here, only at that support. This is telling you something, right? This is no coincidence that those heavy volumes started to appear at the support. Big guys were entering their longs, and boom, this was the reaction, right? So yeah, those were the two trades. By the way, both those trades, I published them in the members area, so all the members from our trading course could have traded them alongside me. Let me show you. This is the members area, and the long is here. This is the ES, this is the long, 5710.75. That's the prediction which I sent out yesterday. And the previous level, that's a short on the ES. So again, ES short 5690. This was using the old contracts. So now we have new contracts, but this was the old contracts. But if I show you the chart, this is a snippet from the chart when I made that prediction, then this chart is the ES. This is the short level, right? This is the short, and this is the long. Now, if you guys are interested in joining us and trading with us in a live trading room every day, then I recommend visiting my website. It is at trader-dale.com, and if you click the FTA button here, it stands for Funded Trader Academy. If you click it, it will take you to this page, and in here you can book one-on-one call with us, and we'll walk you through the service, show you around, and then you can decide whether or not this live trading room is the right choice for you. All right? And if you prefer self-study rather than a live trading room, then you can visit this page, Trading Course and Tools. And on this page, you can browse my educational and indicator packs, focusing on volume profile, order flow, and VWAP. All right, so that's about that. I hope you liked the video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. And until then, happy trading.